Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. It feels so good to say that. I've been gone for 3 days now, and for me, 3 days being away from YouTube is like 3 centuries because I love doing this so much, man. So, yes, I'm back from my family vacation. Had a great time, nice seeing friends and family, but hey, back to business, right, man? We got NBA Finals. We got NBA offseason, NBA draft, so much stuff coming up in this next month and 2, man. It's going to be some great times out there. But today we got a video to react to by the man Austin Sweat, to link to his channel in the description below, titled NBA Free Agency Moves That Must Happen. These bitch-ass things must happen. If they do not happen, I'm sure they will not all happen. Or if they do, yo, Austin, give me them lottery numbers, man, because you onto something right there. Let's go ahead and get going on this and see what must happen.
Free agency is right around the corner now, and it's going to be an insane offseason with over 200 players in some sort of free agency come July.
Really?
Restricted, unrestricted, or in some sort of...
200? That's crazy. Because like a weak-ass free agent class too, man. Wow, okay.
Player or team option. So we're looking at the best and most notable free
200, did not know that.
Best fit and where we feel like they'll actually end up. But first, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, NBA Top Shot.
Oh, here we go. Yo, I tried the NBA Top Shot, man. I got a Stanley Johnson highlight card, and I was like, nope, not going on this website ever again, because, well, I basically was a troll at that point, man. But no, it actually is pretty cool stuff, right? Ain't getting paid to say that, by the way. Like I said, I don't go on it no more.
There's some big names that I'm very confident aren't going anywhere. Players I think will definitely be staying with their teams. And I wanted to get them out of the way first so you don't think I forgot about anyone.
All right.
And they are Chris Paul, Cameron Payne, Reggie Jackson, Gary Trent Jr., Serge Ibaka, Derrick Rose, Norman Powell, John Collins, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Mike Conley. For one reason or another, I don't think they'd leave their teams, and I don't think their team...
I think Conley's going to the Boston Celtics. I think Lowry's... did you say Lowry? I think Lowry's going to the Heat. You might not have said Lowry, man. Gary Trent could be actually interesting. I don't know if he's going to re-sign with the Raptors if they get Jalen Suggs, because then he's not going to have a starting spot, right? They're going to start Suggs and Fred VanVleet. So, yeah, and CP3 to the Knicks. That's probably not going to happen. You may sign me up for it, though.
Would let them walk away, which is why I say they're staying. I don't think the same about the rest of these guys, though. Like, first with Kawhi Leonard. Now, chances are Kawhi turns down his player option so he can get a new max contract, and there were already rumors that he might leave before. But now rumor has it he's upset with the team's medical staff, which was why he forced his way out of San Antonio, and he's really unpredictable.
You know what? Kawhi Leonard, for like a guy that doesn't really say much, he's kind of dramatic, man. Like, damn, he was dramatic on the Spurs towards the end there. Went to the Raptors, won him a championship, and then kind of left like, I don't know, man. Kind of in dramatic fashion. Not really, I guess. But now this going, I don't know, man. He just seems kind of dramatic to me for a guy, a few words.
Comes to this kind of stuff, so he may leave. And if he does, he's got the Heat, Lakers, and people have talked about the Warriors as potential options.
I also heard the Mavericks. He's not going to the Lakers. He's not going to deal with LeBron. That's not going to happen. Warriors would be interesting. I think he's going to the Heat, man. I feel like Kawhi's vibe is more Heat oriented. Because like I said, he don't team up with the super teams out there. But having Jimmy and Bam as a 2 and a 3, that's not like completely outlandish like super team. Like Kawhi would be the missing piece of that team. So yeah, I am going to the Heat.
I really don't know what he's going to do, but out of all of these, I'd probably want to see him in Miami the most. They're the only team that he wouldn't instantly make championship favorites and ruin the season. Plus, they got a good squad, and Jimmy Butler plays more like a great second option.
Well, I think any of those teams not like a guaranteed
for Kawhi to go. Then somewhere he could really
the Nets out there,
final
they get healthy,
completing a roster. And out of all of this year's free agents, Kyle Lowry's the biggest lock on leaving. Himself and the Raptors have already said it's happening. Now here, there's a chance that he goes to the Knicks, and it would make a ton of sense. New York lacked veteran leadership, and a go-to guy when...
Yeah, I suppose. Think about Lowry. It's like the Knicks are a good team, and man, don't roast me for this, Knicks fans, but I don't see them win the championship next year. I don't feel like that's like outlandish to say. And Lowry's not like the youngest dude, so I think Lowry, while he would be a piece to the puzzle of the Knicks, he needs to be the final piece somewhere. I do think that's a team like the 76ers.
Derrick Rose wasn't on the floor.
In my opinion, man. In my opinion.
40 minutes a game in the playoffs because of this. So if they got Lowry, they could rotate Derrick back to the bench and be set. But honestly, I'd much rather see him, and I could more realistically see him going to the 76ers.
Yep, for sure.
I'd want to see them trade Ben Simmons away than sign Kyle Lowry.
Get CJ
McCollum.
How
they do that, it's up to them. But I think Philly would be 10 times better with Lowry as their starting point guard. For DeMar DeRozan, a few teams should be interested in him this offseason. He's a weird case, though. Like, at this point, I don't know how much he could or should sign for, and how much...
I would say DeRozan, let's be honest, like, his style of play isn't like what NBA teams are looking for right now, but he still gets it done. I mean, he was a near all-star last year on the Spurs, man. Averaged, what, like 25 points? I think, like, he was averaging like 6-7 assists, had quite a few rebounds. I think the three-point shot is getting a little bit better, too. It might actually be better than advertised, because Popovich don't really like shooting a lot of threes with this team system. So, I mean, maybe he is a better three-point shooter. But I like him as probably a third option. I don't think he's a top 2 option on a championship team, but it's a third option. Mavericks would be a little intriguing. We want my little shot creator over there. Maybe the Celtics, I guess, but maybe it's like a small forward or something, or power forward. Jalen at the 2, Jason Tatum at the opposite spot of DeMar. So there's some teams out there that do make sense.
Team really wants to pay for a shooting guard that can't shoot threes at all, but expect
he played mostly power forward last year. I like him as a power forward.
And honestly, I could see any of these going down, but I think he's either going to stay with the Spurs or go to the Knicks if New York can't sign any other big names. But again, it also depends on how much he's.
They had room for him on the Knicks, not the rotation.
Even more.
Go take away from Quickly or RJ.
I really got no idea where he's going to sign. He's an unrestricted free agent and could sign with any team in the
league. He won't be back for the Heat.
He hasn't given any indicators as to where he wants to go, but if I had to bet, I'd probably say he stays with the Miami Heat. You know, unless they got Kawhi. As for
they go get him on the Heat, and I could actually see him going like the Boogie route, where just for like one season sign like a $5 million deal or even cheaper than that, and prove to teams out there that, hey, I still got him, man. Because Oladipo, based off the injuries, he's not going to want to sign like a 3 or 4 year contract. He's not going to make a lot of money because the injury history is going to be there. So it is a little risky taking on the smaller contract, for the greater gains. So maybe taking a longer route would be smarter, but I don't think he's going to, man. I think he's going to prove out there that he's still got something on a 1 year deal.
Lonzo Ball, he's a restricted free agent, so he's not going to have to pick a team. They'll be coming after him, and he's either going to stay with the Pelicans after they saw how good he was the second half of the year.
I still like the Knicks.
He's going to get a bigger offer from a team like the Bulls, Knicks, or Thunder.
Knicks are a great fit, and the Bulls
would be good, and I want to see him go to the Bulls. I mean, Lonzo's the perfect fit to play alongside Zach LaVine in the backcourt, and it'd be great to pair them up with Vucevic because it's clear Chicago needs more firepower if they want to be successful.
Nice looking team.
Lonzo would be huge.
Pat Williams.
But I kind of want to see him go to OKC. Don't really know why, but him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have a similar pairing to him and LaVine, and it would start to finally build the Thunder's young core up for real. So,
yeah, they gotta start doing something instead of just doing this damn draft pick thing. It's like, it was cute at first, but it's like, all right, can we like actually start building a team now and stop trading everybody away? But I mean, they got Shai, they got George. It's just like, I've heard small rumors of Shai getting traded, and I'm just like, if they do that, I'm gonna be so pissed off. It's like, why would you do that, OKC? But yeah, start building the team out. And, you start getting that little foundation going, and then eventually you don't got to use all those draft picks as draft players. You can trade them for stars and stuff, too. We got to get something going.
As for Dennis Schroder, he belongs on a playoff team ready to win right now.
Put him back in OKC.
I don't know that I can see him re-signing with the Lakers. They were ready to trade him in a deal for Kyle Lowry earlier in the year, and I see them going in a different direction.
I like him as a six-man.
So instead, he's got some other options, like either the Clippers or the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs could use him to handle the ball and take pressure off
Mavericks is a nice fit. I like that.
They really need someone to do that, but might end up getting it out of the Porzingis trade instead. So the Clippers are another option that could use a near-star point guard, but I mean, I don't know, with how well Reggie Jackson's been playing, they might already be set there if he can keep that up from now on. I could see him going to an underrated team like the Raptors, though. There's a chance they could go back to being a playoff team next year, and having Schroder either starting or coming off the bench as their sixth man.
Yeah, six-man is the route for him.
So that's a possibility. Then a guy like Evan Fournier could be valuable to really any NBA team that needs more scoring.
17-point point getter.
On the other hand,
damn it, 17-point per game shooter. 17-point per. I told you, man, I've been on vacation, man. Yo, mine's a little fried right now. I was in the sun a lot.
Free agent, and
do I look red?
Think that he hurt his value as a player.
Not too bad.
Warriors. He'll still get a good deal somewhere though, from a young team like the Grizzlies, Thunder, or the Blazers.
Well, I like that Grizzlies logo.
Blazers would make sense. I could see the Thunder going for him, but I think they want players a little younger. But the Grizzlies, to me, would make the most sense. His age fits well on that team.
Yo, what about Holy shit! I was about to say, what about the Grizzlies? I didn't even realize that's who he said, man. Grizzlies would be a great fit, man. You have Ja. Maybe even at the 4 spots, right? Ja, Desmond Bane. No, they got Anderson to be kind of slow, man. I don't know, either at the 3 or the 4, because you got Dylan Brooks too, so you got to make that work. Jaren Jackson at the 5, maybe Shea Valanciunas.
He's another solid small forward, and his offense and defense fits in well with the system that team's running.
He'd actually be nice on the Warriors,
Redick, he's either going to a playoff team or a team trying to get there, which would be the Nuggets, Hornets, Knicks, or maybe the Pacers.
Yo, let's go on the Warriors, man.
The Nuggets make the most sense.
Join the Splash Bros.
They have the cap space to bring him in. They don't have a pure shooter on their team.
Yo, let's go Warriors, man. Come on,
like him on the wing to stay open for Jokic at all times. As for the other teams, I could see them trying to spend a little extra.
That jump shot, man.
Beautiful,
so beautiful.
Then with Spencer Dinwiddie, rumor has it he wants a big money contract and wants to play for a team in LA. And I mean, he could end up being worth it. I think Dinwiddie's one of the biggest untapped.
I like the idea of Dinwiddie starting for the Clippers and then Reggie Jackson coming off the bench. I still think that's Reggie Jackson's best thing. It's like just being like this bulk scorer. And then based off how the game's going, like Reggie could close the game out too, man. But Dinwiddie can kind of be there with the starters, you know, get the starters involved and stuff like that, man, because they kind of like that playmaking at the point guard spot. So I wouldn't mind that as a little 1-2 punch.
Have potentials in the league right now.
Or they can play together
really
too, to be honest.
See what he's got in a starting role yet. And I think we will this year, so it's either the Lakers or the Clippers. The Lakers got a lot of salary cap space this offseason.
He don't fit with LeBron.
They could be willing
he really
to pay a guy
don't.
like him to come in and be the team facilitator. But I could also see them trying to bring in someone that's just a little bit more high profile to be their third option if they're going to be spending big money anyways. And as for the Clippers, if they want to bring in a new point guard, Spencer may be the best option on the market. Again, assuming they don't want to give Reggie Jackson that role. But if not, Dinwiddie's a 6'5" point guard that can run an offense and get you at least 20 a game every night.
He knows how to bounce back from injury too.
Switching things up.
Look at him in college.
Maybe
like Colorado.
Montrezl Harrell to turn down his player option with them. I mean, he barely played at all.
He needs to go to I'm gonna say the Hornets.
The playoffs, and his options only at $10 million for next year. So maybe a team looking to spend a little extra money offers him more. With a team like the Hornets, Pacers, or
definitely
Spurs.
The Hornets.
The Hornets desperately need big men, and even though Harrell's not like a go-to dominant big guy, they're the Hornets, so they're gonna go with what they can get. And he'd be a good addition. The Spurs would be good too because they also desperately need big men after LaMarcus Aldridge left last year.
They got Jakob.
And they don't have a lot of other big guys. And if not either, then
nice.
The Pacers could definitely use some help off the bench, backing up Sabonis. As for Zach Collins, he's only 23 and a lot of teams seem to be interested in him.
He's injured
a good amount of
every day
and just enough to where I think he's going to get an offer from a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder that the Trailblazers won't feel comfortable enough matching. So I could see him winding up there.
Is he even that good?
On the other hand, though, there's a lot
he's got some
more
decent defense,
for a guy like Alex Caruso, because he's like most teams' dream backup point guard. He's young, great on defense, solid on offense, and a true team player.
Knows his role.
As an unrestricted free agent, he's going to get a lot of offers. The Lakers should be able to hold on to him though, and I think they're willing to do so. But if not, look at any of these other teams to go after him. And Talon Horton Tucker's in a similar situation. The deal breaker for the Lakers getting Kyle Lowry last year was that they refused to include Tucker in those trade talks, which means they
better bring him back then.
Him, and I think other teams do too. And that's a problem for the Lakers since he's a restricted free agent. I'd say LA throws him something around $8 to $10 million a year to keep him, but if a team like the Hornets or Knicks are high enough on his potential, they could offer him a
I'll take him in Detroit, man, to be honest. I'll take him in Detroit, see what we can do there.
Bit more than what the Lakers can and steal him away. As for Andre Drummond, we got a lot of Lakers players here, but I think the Lakers are done with him too, so instead I can see him only going to two places, either Hornets. The Raptors or the Mavericks, who both desperately need a true
Raptors? Mavericks would be interesting. Him and Kristaps. You know, Kristaps like playing on the outside and Drummond on the inside. I could see that working for the right price. That's not a bad move. Throwing lobs from Luka, I guess.
And if he wants,
I still like
money,
the Hornets for him, though.
He probably goes to Toronto. If he wants to win games, he probably goes for the Mavs. And that'd be huge for Dallas to get a guy like him to finally pair with Luka. They've had good big men, but not a true center like Drummond. Plus, he's a guy that really doesn't need to score a ton either, which is perfect.
I guess he's a true center, but not for this era of basketball.
Blake Griffin. He had flashes of looking like his old self these past couple of months, but who knows how big of a contract he's going to get.
I thought it was kind of washed.
Probably going to be somewhere definitely under $10 million a year, which is going to be weird for him, but I don't think he's anywhere near his old self. So I could either see him staying with the Nets because he already has chemistry with those guys, and he seemed happy in his role there, or I could see him going to the Lakers. He's not getting big money anymore, so he might as well go try and win a championship, and these would be his best two chances to do so. Switching things up though, Lowry Markkanen's another restricted free agent, and I don't think he's gonna stay with the Bulls, so maybe he goes to the Orlando Magic.
Magic's interesting. You know, I actually kind of like him on the Pelicans, maybe. Zion playing on the inside, Lowry on the outside, kind of like that.
I don't know why, but I just have a feeling he could end up there. Orlando was really high on Vucevic for years.
I think Markkanen is going to be like a most improved player. Maybe not next season, but maybe the season after. One of these seasons, things are going to click with him. I just got a feeling.
And Markkanen's play style seems pretty similar. But then from there, if that's where he ends up, don't ever expect him to get any better because, come on, it's the Magic. If not them, though, maybe look at the Thunder to outbid the Bulls here and bring in another talented young guy.
There you go.
Then for our last player, I can't see Devontae Graham staying with the Hornets and them still having 3 point guards. And as a restricted free agent, I can see him going to either the Pacers or the Raptors to be their 6th man.
Yeah, I think Devontae, what made him so valuable was his cheap-ass contract. If he's asking for too much money, it's like they already got Malik Monk to play some backup minutes and stuff. And, I mean, you can find a backup point guard very easily. So, yeah, he's going to go to a team that needs some little bit of extra scoring, too. That's all we got for this video, man. Very good video here by Austin Sweat. Link to his channel description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.